So it is incredibly sunny outside. Like, I literally cannot go any further, otherwise I'm gonna be blinded by the sun. But I'm not here to give a weather report today. What's up, guys? Hope you're having a great day today. Today we're gonna be talking about my Tesla Model Y and what I love and hate about it. I've had this car for about 2 months now, so I think that's a good amount of time to declare what I love about the car and what I hate about the car. So let's get in the car, let's get started. Yeah. So we come out to, I guess, the outside to talk about the first thing that I love about my Tesla Model Y, and that is the FSD in this car. So this car has Tesla's $8,000 FSD system, but we actually got it on a bit of a discount. So we bought this car with the enhanced autopilot system that Tesla had in 2023, which for $2,000 extra rather than the $8,000 extra, you can actually get it optioned with FSD. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is that we bought this car and we were able to get this car with FSD, including the purchase price, for about 33 grand, plus a warranty on top for another 2. So 35, like high 35s, low 36, something around that price. And in that time, we have used this FSD system so much and so frequently. We actually, when we bought this car, took this car 700 miles to the state of Maryland and back. I actually have a video on it, link below. And in that period of time, the car did great. The FSD system, it did a lot well. There was only about, I think, 2 times in 700 miles where we had to override the FSD because it was making a mistake, which I have to admit, that's actually pretty good. For comparison, my 2018 Honda Clarity has an adaptive cruise control system with lane keep assist, and it makes a few mistakes. A lot more than 2, I have to say. So to see this in a Tesla Model Y, it's actually doing a pretty good job, I have to admit. I did not think I was going to say that. I figured it would have made a lot of mistakes and messed up quite a bit. But no, it's actually fairly accurate. However, that does lead us into the first thing I hate about my Model Y, and that is the suspension on this car. Now, to say this thing has a soft suspension is quite a lie, in my opinion. This thing actually has a bit of a stiffer, more sportier suspension, which I get works on sports cars, but not on a crossover SUV. For context, we sold our 2017 Honda Odyssey for this car. So we've gone from an Odyssey that's fairly plush, fairly smooth, to this with a rough suspension. And for the money you pay for this thing brand new, you would expect it to have a nicer, more softer suspension, especially given how it's not a sports car by any means of imagination. I mean, yes, it does 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds, but besides that, it's not really all that sporty based. It doesn't handle the best. I mean, it handles fairly good for an SUV, but it doesn't handle like my Audi TT does. So in that case, why does it need to have such a rough suspension? For the same money you pay for this car, you could also buy a few luxury SUVs. You could buy an Audi Q3, maybe even an Audi Q5. You can buy a used Audi Q8, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not for a used Model Y money, but like for a new Model Y, you could choose between this or like an Audi Q8. And I have driven an Audi Q8, and that thing has such plush suspension. It is so smooth in there. It feels so nice. Compared to this one's a bit rough in my opinion. This one feels a lot rougher than its luxury SUV counterparts, which for the money blows my mind. Now for the next thing that I love about this Tesla Model Y, we actually have to head inside, and the thing that I do love about this thing is the seating position. So we come on into here, I close the door, right? And I have to say, where I'm sat, all this stuff, it just works so well for me. I can just rest my arm up here and just chill like this. I can't do this in my Audi TT. No matter what seating position I put myself in, no matter what steering position, all of that, I just cannot figure out this for the TT. Versus in here, right? I can put my arm down here, I can rest, and I can just chill quite a bit. I can also put my arm up here. I can also just rest my arm here, keep it like this. There's so many different positions with this car that I can sit in, and it just works so well. And I also get to feel not too high up, but not too low to the ground either. In my BMW Z3, I had this problem a lot where I just felt like I was kind of in traffic a lot. And then in the Audi Q8 I had for a little bit, I just felt like I was above it all, and I just felt a bit too high off the ground. So I have to say, the position that Tesla puts this car in, it's a fairly normal position, especially here in America where there's a lot of SUVs. So you begin to feel right at position, right on level with everybody else. Not too high, not too low. Just perfect balance. However, though, the seats themselves is the second thing I hate about this car. These seats, they're not that great, honestly. They're not the most comfortable. they're very much like just this overly smooth leather that just after a while kind of becomes uncomfortable to sit in. Compare this to my Audi TT seats. These things are not the best. I mean, I have quilted leather seats that I just love to sit in for hours on end in my TT that are very buckety and can give you a nice hug. Versus this one, I slide around quite a bit, especially with the smoothened leather. I just tend to just slide way too much. In the Clarity, I don't have this problem either, not as much at least, because of the cloth inserts in each of those seats. So for this to be the most expensive car we have, and for it to have probably the least comfortable seats out of all of them, the least comfortable suspension, and the most, I guess, just meh seat themselves, it kind of blows my mind, honestly. If I want to go on a road trip, I probably wouldn't want to take this car. I'd want to take the Audi because of the fact that I don't have to charge the car, and because of the fact that the seats are just so much nicer in that car. Moving on from the seats, the third thing that I love about my Tesla Model Y is the driver potential and the driver profiles. You can have so many driver profiles in this car, it's insane. I'm currently sat in my dad's position, and now I'm gonna move it to my mom's position, and the car just does everything for me so well. Oh my God. How does my mom sit like this? Like, holy crap. I know I'm 5'7" and I'm a lot taller than her, but like, Jesus. We put it back to my positions. Okay, there we go. I get to stretch my legs out a little bit, all that stuff. And I know a lot of cars have memory settings. It's nothing special. Like even my Honda Clarity, if you get the proper options for it, that thing has memory seats. But for this one to have unlimited memory seats, it appeals to people who have larger families. If you have a family of like 5 drivers, something like my Clarity, those memory seats won't do all 5 drivers. It only does 2. So to have this where you can have as many drivers as you want and have their keys, i.e. their phones, sync up to the specific driver profiles is insane. Now that does lead us to something that I hate about the Model Y, which is that the fact that there's no heads-up display in this car. Now I understand when you're actually driving the car, the speedometer is right up here, so it's not the biggest deal whatsoever. Like for example, if I put the car into drive right now, you see right there, you know, I can see that I'm going 0 miles an hour. And if I put it in drive, you can see that I'm in drive right there. So it's not the biggest problem that way per se, but the issue that does come from that is that you still gotta go look over into a corner, you know? Versus like, if you have a heads-up display or like a traditional gauge cluster like up here, you can just, you know, look straight ahead, maybe look down a little bit. Versus here, it's like you gotta turn your eyesight from here to here, you know? Here to here. So it just doesn't, I don't like how that works specifically. I've honestly kind of disliked it quite a bit because I have to take my full, or well, not my full attention, but a majority of my attention away from the road and onto the screen, which that can easily be remedied with a heads-up display. And there's so many companies that make aftermarket heads-up displays for Model Ys. So why doesn't Tesla do that? Tesla, you could just do it yourself and add a heads-up display for the user. You could even option it for an extra money, make some profit that way. So why not do it? I don't get it, you know? Now, the next thing that I love about my Model Y is the torque in this car. This thing is torquey, this thing is quick. I mentioned earlier, 0 to 60 in this car is right around 4.4 seconds, meaning it is the quickest car in the garage, even outranking my dual clutch Audi TT, which is crazy to say. That car does 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds. My Honda Clarity does it in about 7 seconds. So for this, the mid-size family SUV, to be the quickest car in the garage, even against a sedan and a sports coupe, is insane to say. And even when launching this car is so much different to launch than my Audi TT. With the Audi TT, you know, you can just stomp on it a bit and then it'll gradually increase. Versus this one, it's just instantaneous. It is so instant with the torque. It's insane. You just automatically get pushed back into your seat. It blows my mind. But what's kind of funny is one of the things that I hate about this Model Y is kind of the opposite of the insta torque, and that is the regen braking and just how sudden and violent it is sometimes. It's crazy to say, but like when it comes to the regen braking on this car, it's very strong, which makes sense because you can do what Tesla calls one pedal driving, which is like it ensues, one pedal driving. You don't need to hit the brake pedal whatsoever because the regen braking is that strong. But on the other side though, sometimes it can be a bit of a pain to adapt to. My mom is a good example of this. She drives around the Honda Clarity quite a bit, which already has a lot of regenerative braking. So to come into this, she has a few issues with it as well. And so we have to manually turn it off in her driver profile to not do the regen braking as much as say in my profile. And I know what some people are thinking. They're thinking like, oh, but it's so easy to adapt to it. And it's so easy. But it's like, not really though. Like, I mean, I go from my Audi TT to the Model Y to the Clarity quite a bit. So the regen braking is different on all three cars, given that, you know, the TT does not have regen braking. The Clarity has a little bit of regen braking, and this has a lot of regen braking. But still though, it's like switching between all three cars, you kind of got to deal with the fact that, oh, when you put your foot off the gas in this car, it basically feels like you're slamming on the brakes. Versus in the TT, it's like, oh, when you let off the gas, it's like, okay, it's just cruising, you know? And then the Clarity is like, okay, it's a little bit slowing down, not the most recognizable difference between that and like a bigger car. What I'm trying to say here is that the regen braking, while some people can claim that it's easy to adapt to, in my personal experience and in my mom's experience, not really. I don't know what to say besides, it's kind of violent, it's kind of hard to get used to, yeah. Now while we're out here, one of the things that I really love about my Model Y is the low cost of fuel in this car. So it's not the cheapest car to run, if I'm being completely honest. That title goes to the Clarity, but the fact that it's fully electric means that we can still charge it at the house for a low price. And whenever we're out in like public or in specific public areas, we get free charging, even though we don't get the opportunity to use it as much as we did in the Clarity. And as I say this, a nice NA Miata drives by. But still though, after doing the math on this, this car is right around 5 cents a mile to drive, which is crazy to say. For some comparison sakes, my BMW Z3 was running about 11 cents a mile, and then the Honda Odyssey was, I think, 13 cents a mile. Those numbers could be wrong, but it is somewhere in that price range. My Audi TT, a bit cheaper at 8 cents a mile, but this one at 5 cents, for a car that drives you around 90% of the time, it is the perfect daily driver. It's cheap to drive, or well, yeah, I guess, yeah, cheap to drive until you have issues with that $10,000 battery, but we don't need to worry about that just now. It's high tech, it's got all the connection stuff you need, it's got basically everything you need in a daily driver, and I think that's where Tesla is. They are perfect daily drivers. I don't call them good weekend cars because I think aside from the Tesla Roadster, I don't think Teslas are good weekend cars, but as a daily driver, I mean, you can't go wrong with cheap to run, good technology. The thing drives you around, for the love of God. Like, I mean, come on, that FSD driving you around, I feel like that is so good on road trips because I've done it on road trips. But I'm going back to my first ever point in this video. What I'm trying to say though in this point is that it's cheap to run. And I mean, you can't go wrong with cheap to run until, of course, and this is the biggest caveat, the $10,000 battery goes bad. But I mean, that's like not for another crap load of miles for me. This car has about 27,000 miles on it. These batteries aren't known for going out until into the mid hundreds, even 200s I've seen some people do. And this car has a bumper to bumper warranty for a long while, so we're all good there. Now, something completely unrelated to that is something I really hate about this Model Y, and that is the turn signals in this car. And you might be wondering, why do I not like the turn signals in this car? It's because of the fact that sometimes they just don't want to work. Like, I'm turning right, yeah, but I have to like half tap it to even turn it off. Like, I don't get this sometimes. Yeah, okay, left, it's actually working, but now I can't turn off left. Like, I'm hitting the thing. Okay, now it turns off. But it takes so many tries for the turn signal to work. And for some reason, they decided to do it like BMW did for a long while and just have the thing reset itself back to the idle position, which just, it's crazy. I don't get it. BMW tried this for a decade and they switched back. I mean, I don't understand why Tesla thought it would be a good idea to adapt to BMW's bad design. Like, I don't get it whatsoever. And I can't even, okay, there it is. I was having trouble with turning off the turn signal. Like, I don't understand what they're thinking. And the final thing that I love about my Model Y is the tech in this car. Like, hello, you get quick access to your blind spot cameras, which I have not seen another car where you can get this quick of access to so many cameras in it, especially the backup camera. I can't think of one where it just allows you to have access to it at all times. But we also have features like Sentry Mode, which just serves as a perfect protector for this car. Anytime I take the car out, I put on Sentry Mode, and I just have the car basically monitor around us to see what is going on, because of the fact that it prevents break-ins, I feel like. Like, maybe not properly, not perfectly, but like, for example, my BMW Z3 was broken into a few years ago, not even a few years ago, last year, and I could never find who broke into my car. The police couldn't find them. But if I have a camera system around that car like this car does, it would have been caught within days, honestly. It's crazy, but I don't know, like, the fact that this car has all these cameras, it makes it just so much safer in that instance. This car also has smart summon, so if I went right over there, I could basically get the car to drive over to me without anybody in the car, and it would do it decently fine, I'd say. I think so, at least. And the thing that I really like about this car in terms of tech is that it has direct access to your subscription. You don't have to Bluetooth it, and that is good for me, especially because the Bluetooth on my phone has been the most finicky piece of crap that I have seen in forever. And the final thing that I hate about my Tesla Model Y is the community behind them. Particularly, I mean, it's just a messy community in general, in my opinion. I know a lot of the Tesla community is going to either come after me or agree with me in this video for the points that I've made. But all in all, I mean, I don't know. I'm not even including the Elon fans, the Elon stans, all that stuff. Some people call them the Musketeers. I call them the Muskrats. I think that's just a funnier name in my opinion. But even like the Tesla stans who don't care about Elon but care about the cars, I mean, you guys, and I guess the Muskrats as well, you guys are all very cultists in my opinion. It's like the guys from the Prius cult basically just went over to the Tesla as soon as this thing got big, you know? Back to what I was saying, I mean, I don't know how to explain it besides the fact of it's kind of a culty community, and if you disagree with them in the slightest, you're seen as a martyr. You're seen as, I guess, a traitor in a way. Rich Rebuilds is a very good example of this, you know? He basically just took apart the entire car despite Tesla telling him not to, and the entire community just went after him for it, or at least a good chunk of the community, despite him having an admiration for the car because of the fact that, you know, he rebuilt the thing from nothing. It's like with Tesla, they are all right. They are all seeing and all powerful to these people. And if you say even the smallest thing against it, it's just you're evil to them, you are the martyr to them, all this stuff. Kind of like, you know, a cult. And on that note, I know I pissed off most of the Tesla community, so just like that, today's video is in fact over. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I know a bunch of the Muskrats are gonna come after me for that one, so bring it on. And if you like what you're seeing, leave subscribe. And just like that, I'm out. I'm gonna go keep driving this car because despite everything I said, I still enjoy it. Peace.